Today our passage is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verses 6 to 13, and the church tomorrow remembers Hildegard of Bingen, a rather extraordinary woman from the 12th century, a period when the earliest parts of our cathedral were built. Hildegard lived in Germany. From early childhood she experienced visions, and aged 15 she took vows as a nun. She didn't live locked away from the world though, nor did she have her head in the clouds as a mystic. She was a prominent figure in European society. She influenced people of social standing. She corresponded with rulers. For a woman in that time, this must have been unusual. Hildegard is one of my heroes. She was rather a polymath. She was very musical, a composer of hymns and chants. She wrote poetry. She wrote theology. She wrote medical handbooks and books about nature. Some think she was the founder of scientific natural history in Germany. She spoke out in the prophetic tradition about the ills of her time, and her letters to royalty did not pack their punches. Not surprisingly, she became the abbess of her community, and it grew under her leadership, moving to bigger premises and founding a daughter house. Last year, when we were still singing, remember that? The girls' choir sang choral evensong on this day, and they sang an anthem written by Hildegard. I remember talking to them about her. There are more surviving chants by Hildegard than any other composer from the entire Middle Ages, and she was one of the very few who wrote both the music and the words. This is an extraordinary record for anyone, let alone a woman of that time. What a good role model for girls today. A woman of 9 centuries ago in medieval Europe, living in a Benedictine convent, who had such a lasting effect, who left such a legacy. Who would have thought it? I wonder what St. Paul would have thought about it. But then perhaps he would not have found it surprising in the least. His words about wisdom, the wisdom of God, and how it differs, it contrasts with the wisdom of this age, show that he was well aware of how God often works in surprising ways and through surprising people. When the spirit that is from God is received, then there is no telling what may happen, what gifts may be bestowed, what understanding, what calling. Paul himself was perhaps the most surprising advocate of Christianity in his time, as well as the most effective and the most far-reaching in his influence. And how could that be? Because in his words, we speak of these things in words not taught by human wisdom, but taught by the Spirit.